She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
Hey guys, Mosa here, and today I'm bringing you some news stories that have happened throughout this offseason. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Now, kicking it off with the Jared Goff trade to Detroit and the Matthew Stafford trade to Los Angeles. Now, this trade was between the Los Angeles Rams and the Detroit Lions. The Rams traded away their first round pick in 2022, their first round pick in 2023, their third round pick this year, and Jared Goff for quarterback Matthew Stafford. Now, this is the trade for two first overall picks. A first overall pick that is young and one that is old. Now, when it comes to Matthew Stafford, I think Matthew Stafford will have a better chance to win a Super Bowl in Los Angeles. Now, I'm not saying the Rams will win the Super Bowl. It all depends on who you put around Matthew Stafford. Now, when it comes to the Detroit Lions, Jared Goff is going to be a quarterback that either you're going to use as your franchise quarterback or you use one of the first round picks of 2022 or 2023 to basically get a franchise quarterback, or better yet, just through free agency maybe. Because there are quarterbacks that might say, oh, we don't want these guys. We already got our guy. And these guys are young and could become a franchise quarterback in free agency. Who knows? But as far as I can see, I am grading the LA Rams a C+ for their trading for Matthew Stafford, while the Detroit Lions get a B-. Now, why do I give a B- to the Detroit Lions? It's because they got draft capital along with Jared Goff. Now, that is very good for Matthew Stafford. And honestly, Matthew Stafford could make the Rams a whole lot better. But I think that the LA Rams need to put weapons and a very good defense around Matthew Stafford so that they can succeed with him. But if they can't, well, Matthew Stafford ain't going to work, and you're going to see Sean McVay possibly fired. Up next, we got the release of J.J. Watt. Now, J.J. Watt got released by the Houston Texans. The Texans are most likely going to trade the Deshaun Watson to the New York Jets. I still think they're going to do that. Even though they say they don't want to, they have stated that they would trade him to New York. But for J.J. Watt, I would imagine that they trade him for some value. But they didn't. They decided to release him, and that's fine. J.J. Watt will go and decide where he will go. Now, I have 6 teams here that possibly he will take a chance on. Now, at number 6, I'm thinking the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Buffalo Bills have a very good offense and a decent defense with Sean McDermott as the head coach and Josh Allen as the quarterback. I think that team is ready for a Super Bowl run. But could J.J. Watt make a difference? I think he could make a difference in Buffalo, but I got them 6 because there are teams more interesting for J.J. than Buffalo. At number 5, we got the Indianapolis Colts. Now, when it comes to the Colts, they just traded for Carson Wentz. And honestly, that could be interesting. Now they got a franchise quarterback that then they could build a defense and then stop teams like the Titans from winning the division and possibly stop teams like Kansas City, even though it's very difficult to do. But honestly, it could be. It could happen. But do I think the Colts are best option for JJ? No, I don't believe it, because JJ in the Colts system, I don't think that he'll work as best as he could with other teams that I'm about to mention. Now, up at number 4, we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Chiefs have a very good run game. They have some very good wide receivers. They got Patrick Mahomes. They need to fix an offensive line a bit so Mahomes doesn't get trashed like they did in the Super Bowl. And honestly, building a defense with J.J. Watt in Kansas City, that could have been enough to go back to the Super Bowl for a third time and win it for the second time in 3 years. Now, I think that the Kansas City Chiefs, they need defensive help, and it's mostly because of what happened in the Super Bowl. Like, they got destroyed by Tom Brady, Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, and Leonard Fournette in the Super Bowl, who were all the ones that scored touchdowns. You get seeing guys like Antoine Winfield picking them off. But honestly, offensively, I think Mahomes can fix his style of play so that they can do something better for 2021. Now, when it comes for the defense, I think they're going to have to need some defensive help. Maybe pressure those quarterbacks like Tom Brady to throw bad passes. And when you honestly pressure a quarterback, especially an old quarterback, you get them throwing in bad situations and could end up being picks. But I still think that the Kansas City Chiefs are still not the top team for J.J. Watt to go to, because J.J. Watt could actually be the best options these next three teams. At number 3, we got the Green Bay Packers. They still got Aaron Rodgers. They got some running backs, but they could need to actually sign. They actually need to sign some running backs back, because both Aaron Jones, I believe, and Williams, I don't remember the other guy, but I know Aaron Jones is headed to free agency. They need to sign those two running backs back, and they need to get J.J. Watt. Build up a defense so then they can stop teams in the AFC, NFC, and NFC North. Now, when it comes to the Green Bay Packers, this could be a homecoming for JJ, as he played his college football at the University of Wisconsin. So maybe this could be a best scenario for JJ Watt, but I don't think that is the best case scenario for JJ. Now at number 2, we got the Cleveland Browns. Now, this is the most likely landing spot for JJ, but not my points. I think that JJ landing in Cleveland could be incredible. I mean, Kevin Stefanski with the quarterback, Baker Mayfield, receivers, I think it was Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, and all those other guys I don't really remember. They got tight end Devin Njoku. They could use all these guys on offense. Well, on defense, by the way, on offense, they also got Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb in the backfield. And then using a J.J. Watt in the, not only because also J.J. could be placed as a tight end too. He has done that before and even scored touchdowns. But as well, at the defensive end position, he could be deadly with the Cleveland Browns. Now, Olivier Vernon is probably not going to be back with the Browns, so they could easily just replace him with J.J. Watt in probably even an upgrade, basically. But in Cleveland, I think that maybe not. I think that this is going to be a place that he could succeed in the best possibility, but I don't think it's the best possibility, in my opinion. In the opinion of everyone else, they all say Cleveland is his most likely landing spot, which is honestly fair. But I think this next spot is where he's going to land. At number 1, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers already have his two brothers, Derek and TJ Watt. Imagine JJ Watt and TJ Watt on the same defense. One on one side, the other on the other. Along the right, you got JJ, and on the left, you got TJ, or the other way around. Doesn't matter. But imagine both Watts on that defense. That would be an incredible defense, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are possibly looking to releasing Ben Roethlisberger. Ben Roethlisberger might get released, and that is something that it will be interesting for the Pittsburgh Steelers, because will they go with Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges, or even Dwayne Haskins? Who knows? But they might restructure his contract so they can bring some more guys in, because he stated he doesn't want the money anymore. He just wants to win. And that's honestly fair. He wants his team to win, and that's honestly what everyone wants. But is he willing to win with this squad on defense? I think not. I think he wants to alleviate some cap so that they can actually bring some defensive help, maybe even J.J. Watt, and pairing him up with his brother TJ. Now, this could be a very good offense in 2021 and a very good defense in 2021. But in my opinion, I think the best landing spot for J.J. Watt is Pittsburgh, and that Pittsburgh defense will definitely improve with J.J. Watt. Now, for our final story, this just came in as I'm recording this today. The Colts trade for Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz is now an Indianapolis Colt. Of course, the Eagles are getting a third-round pick in this year's draft and a 2022 second-round pick, a conditional second-round pick. Now, what do I think of this? I think the Colts could have done more, because the Eagles, honestly, I think with this trade got scrubbed a bit. Because honestly, a first round pick and a third round pick I think would have been fine and an excellent trade for Carson Wentz. But honestly, the Colts got it cheaper. But honestly, I don't mind the Colts having Carson Wentz, because it was either going to be Carson Wentz or the unretired Andrew Luck. And honestly, I see now that they go with Carson Wentz, and Carson Wentz could actually bring something incredible to the Indianapolis Colts. Now as the starting quarterback, but he's most likely going to have to prove himself before becoming the full-on starter. Now, as we've seen this year, we have in this offseason 3 quarterbacks traded. All first-round quarterbacks, all selected in the first 2 picks. And 2 of them being first overall picks. And 1 of them being a second overall pick selected after one of those guys. And honestly, we're seeing Carson Wentz head to Indianapolis, reconnecting with Frank Reich. I think that he had his best years with Frank Reich. Honestly, in my opinion, he had a better record. He had a better season with Frank Reich. They won the Super Bowl with Frank Reich. Honestly, I think this is going to be an excellent situation for the Indianapolis Colts, Carson Wentz, Frank Reich, and that whole Indianapolis community. Now, that was it for this video. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Which of these stories do you think is the best? Do you think Jared Goff headed to Detroit, Matthew Stafford headed to Los Angeles, J.J. Watt getting released, or Carson Wentz headed to Indianapolis? Which one of these situations do you think is best out of all of these stories that have come out? Tell me down in the comments below. Now, like this video if you liked it, subscribe and hit the notification if you want more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.